starting the second session of this women's conference. So I want to welcome Shilpa Kale. She is an amazing person, and she's going to talk to you guys today about networking and mentoring. And we've already heard a little bit. She is also a sold-out poet. So I'm going to turn it over.
Morning, everyone. Today I'm going to try something new. I'm not going to try to bore you with a lecture. So no notes or slides or anything from me. And I also want this to be a very interactive, engaging session. So do not hesitate to ask questions. I am one of the most non-judgmental, open-minded person my children tell their friends that they have come across. And I want that person to be for all of you. So, my name is Shilpa Kale. I am an Asian American of Indian origin. I have brown eyes and dark brown hair. And they say, you are what you eat. In my case, I am what I drink. I love chai latte, so my skin tone resembles that of chai latte. My education is in technical background. I have Bachelor of Science in Electronics, Physics, and Math. I am a valedictorian in Masters in Computer Applications, and I have an MBA in Managerial Analytics, and proud to share, I got an A+ in that. My career started out as a software consultant. I held many roles like web developer, tech lead, database administrator. I even formed and ran my own software consulting company successfully for several years. About 14 years ago, I joined Humana Military in their IT department as a software consultant through my consulting company and soon became an employee. In 2017, a senior leader, our former Humana Military CEO, was quite impressed with my 360 data knowledge and helped me transition into data and analytics department he started. And then he later grew me into my current role of lead cloud architect when cloud happened to Humana. I like to give back to the community. I have served on the board for a nonprofit called Women Influencing Louisville. It's a nonprofit that serves to elevate and uplift underprivileged girls and women in greater Louisville area. I am also serving as a co-president for Humana's Women's Network Resource Group. Now, Humana is a huge company with tens of thousands of employees, and about 10,000 associates is what I support in this role. And I have about a dozen leaders as my direct reports. Personally, I am married. My husband, Ashutosh, he works at UPS. I have two sons, Mihir and Murgang, and my younger one, Murgang, graduated from high school last year, so it's great to see and be among all of you here again. And we like to travel as a family. My additional hobbies are walk in the nature, crocheting, playing violin, and composing poems. And very proud to share that I have a poetry book published. Here's my little show and tell. And I got a couple of copies. I plan on giving this to the organizers and let them decide how to share that with all of you. So as you can see, I am a very happy, energetic, and optimistic soul. And if you're wondering how I got here, then we are on the same page. And I can explain. They say it takes a village to raise a child. That is true. It also takes a village, or circle of caring people, network so to say, to be successful and happy in life. They tell us early on, study hard. Does anybody's parents say goof off more? No, they always say study hard. Get good grades. If you have anything below B, how many of you get lectures, right? So they say study hard, get good grades, so you can get into good colleges. That's probably the phase all of you might be going through right now. It then follows by get a good job, work very hard, and then make a decent living so you can have and support your family. That part is coming your way. That's why I'm here to share some of my experiences on what happens and what to do about it. We follow it until we cannot. After all, we're only humans, right? Think about this for a minute. You're working 8 to 10 hours, commuting back and forth for a couple of hours, then doing your chores, cooking, cleaning, paying bills, preparing for next day, only to do this all over the day after. And when you're grown up, and when they want you to have family, or if you want to have a pet, you add the family pet in the mix, and the chores just add up, and it is exhausting. So if it's exhausting to survive, how are we going to thrive, be successful, and be happy? Right? This is where the network comes in. If we decide, let's look at it very broadly and logically. If we split our life in two buckets, one is the professional, and what is it that you want to be or do in your career, and the other one is personal. What is it that you want to do and be when you're off work? In your professional life, you would need people that care about you and that can guide you when you make mistakes, or that can guide you when you want to learn something new or explore something new. And in your personal life, you would need people that are there to support. Let's say you have to travel for work. Who's going to walk your dog? Or take the kid to the soccer practice. Whatever those chores are, having a support system, having a network would go a long way. You may even wonder, why do I need network? If you still want me to pursue why you need network, I'll tell you why, and this is from the experience. Most decisions about us are made when we are not around. And how do we influence those decisions? How do you make sure that those decisions work in your favor? So for work, it will be who would get that next promotion? How much bonus to give someone? At home, this would be what school, college would you go? How much clothing allowance should be paid for? Should we say yes to that concert? Jack Harlow, his big. I don't know if there are any fans over here. But the concert ticket, who would fund that money? All these decisions about you, what you want, are being made by someone else, but you are not in the room. And that is why you need that network. You want to create those voices that would say how awesome you are. So professionally, your network would look like your boss, your peers, or mentor, sponsor. And these people will say how awesome you are and why you should deserve that promotion or that raise or both. At home, your network will look like your parents, siblings, cousins, friends, and these are the people that will say how awesome you are and why should you go to that out-of-state school that you want to go. The other thing you can do is creating a goodwill. Why would somebody speak up for you? Why would somebody say all those nice things about you? So for them to say all those nice things, we create goodwill among them. And there is a simple way to create a goodwill. You can create goodwill through your values. I'll show you an example. So I work at Humana and my company has 3 simple values. Be caring, be curious, be committed. And I use these to create goodwill among my coworkers, leaders, and even off work. Being caring, helping others. Why would somebody help if all you want to do is use them, right? You want to help them back too. So initiate that caring for others. The other thing you can do is being curious. I shared that I'm one of the most non-judgmental, open-minded person I try to be. It wasn't easy. It has been a journey and it continues to be. So be curious about other people. Don't judge them. Be open-minded. Try to understand their perspective. And third thing is being committed, being accountable for it. Lead life of, honesty and integrity. And so these are 3 values I use to create goodwill in my network. You may have additional or different set of values that you can use to create goodwill. This was just an example. And this is something the network is doing for you, right? They're speaking up, they're telling everyone how awesome you are and why you deserve all that. What is it that you can do? I know Natasha talked about speaking up a lot. And I'm going to summarize in a smaller way, but learn to speak up. It wasn't too long ago I learned it. I'll tell you exactly when I learned to speak up. Six years ago. Up until then, I couldn't speak up. And my first mentor, cornered me until I couldn't bear it, and then I spoke up. I learned to speak up by speaking up for others first. Hey, you were mean to her. That was easier for me than saying, hey, you were mean to me. So how do you apply this speaking up for your situation? At work, you say, just because I'm a girl, don't make me fetch coffee or plan that lunch outing. I am interested in how artificial intelligence can benefit our company, and I want to work on that pilot, and my technical background will help me learn that skill. At home, you speak up, saying that out-of-state school that I want to go is the best for my future. These are the things I plan to accomplish from that And here's the scholarship that will fund the education. So you speak up. There's a third thing that happens, and that is called personal brand. Our reputation travels much before us, and it travels far and wide. It already forms an opinion about us even before we meet those people or anything. So how do you create a personal brand that is true to you, that is true to who you are? The simplest way one can create a personal brand. So personal brand is something you do consistently over and over and over, aligned with your values. And top of values, my values are curiosity, compassion, courage, integrity, and humor. And I've been practicing this over and over for years. So how does that show up? So some of the things people say when I'm not around is, she's a great leader because she's so caring and curious. Or my peers say, I love to work with her because she's so funny. Or you would hear my children say, I love mom because she shows up and she cares. I did not pay any of them to say those things about me. Actually, when they say those things, I wasn't even physically around. And this didn't happen overnight. It is through consistently behaving and showing up with my values over and over is how that reputation or that personal brand has been created. So you would build that personal brand and you will learn to speak up, and then you will form that network, create goodwill in that network, and then let that network elevate you through time. Let's take it up a notch and let's talk about mentoring. It is unreal and unreasonable to think that we can do it on our own. If we are thinking this way, that I don't need anybody, I got it all figured out, I'm going to put all my efforts, and I can just do it on my own. If we think that way, then that's our ego talking to us. And our ego is our biggest enemy. In reality, in life, we need help from time to time, whether at work, at school, or at home, from others. Let's pause, reflect, and learn. Are you happy where you are in life, or do you think you can do better? Are you uncertain about the direction you are heading in your life? And are you open to learning from others? If the answer to any of this is yes, then it's time to get a mentor. Mentor is someone that will guide you or coach you in a customized fashion that is catered to your needs. So for freshmen to junior kids here, it could be somebody in a senior class. Or for seniors, it could be your cousin or community member or a counselor or a teacher that knows or has expertise in the field of interest for you. There are various forms of mentoring. The most common or known is the one-on-one mentoring, where it's a senior-junior relationship, where the senior is the more knowledgeable mentor and the junior or the mentee is less knowledgeable in that particular skill. The other form that is not very commonly known but very effective is peer-to-peer mentoring. And this can be somebody, your classmate, your friend. For example, somebody, good in math, and you want to be at that level in math. So this peer-to-peer mentor, they can be of the same skill, same age or same level. The third form is mentoring circle, where you just have one mentor and is coaching a group of mentees that are trying to achieve the same skill. Doesn't matter which form of mentoring you would seek, whether it's a one-on-one or peer or circle, there are a few things you would want to look for a mentor. Very simple qualities, it's not rocket science. The first and foremost, your mentor has to be caring about you. If they don't care, they're not going to give their best advice to you. The second thing, the mentor actually needs to be knowledgeable about the skill that you are seeking mentoring for. And the third thing, which is not appreciated but is extremely valuable because you can't return it, is the time. The mentor has to be willing to give you their time for your growth and improvement. What would you do as mentee? Well, the mentee has to prepare and decide what is it they want to get out of this mentoring relationship. And second thing the mentee has to do is, how can I give back? How can I help mentor who is investing in my growth? If all of this feels too much, a simplest formula that I remember by is the word mentor. Everything about mentoring is in the word mentor, and I just made this myself. I used to do this during my MBA exams too, creating acronyms, words, and then answer it that way. So mentor, M is for mission. Mentee has to decide what is it that you want to get out of this mentoring relationship. Because if you don't know what you want, you're not able to get it. Second one, E is for engagement. Once you identify your mentor, then you decide for how long do you want to have this mentoring relationship? How frequently do you want to meet? Once in a month for 30 minutes, for 6 months, or 3 emergency mentoring sessions back to back in a week. However is the need of the time or the skills for you, you can decide that level of engagement. N is for network. Most of the time, the mentor that you look for, it would be someone you know someone. So it will come out of your networking. And more reason to build that network, widen it, and strengthen it. T is for trust. You have to establish trusted relations with your mentoring partner. Be very honest. Whatever skill, whatever struggles that you have, be very honest with your mentoring partner because they will give you the help. They're invested in your betterment. O is for opportunity. And this is something that happens. The mentor creates growth opportunity, exploring opportunity for the mentee. This is where you can test and learn. This is where you can try and fail without judgment. This is one of the benefits of mentoring, the opportunity that comes out of it. Oftentimes, even the mentee creates the opportunity back for the mentor. Since it gets to being a win-win relationship, mentee can provide the perspectives, their perspectives on mentor. Not too long ago, one of my younger mentee, helped me change perspective about buying clothes at Google. And that's a great thing to do. So I am pro until I heard that perspective, I wasn't even aware of that perspective. So you'll be surprised how much a mentee can give back to the mentor. And last, so we did MENTO, last one is R. R is for review. Just like we needed the mission at the beginning of mentoring, you wouldn't know what you want unless you define what you want. Same way, you wouldn't know if you have arrived at the destination if you don't review. So when you meet with your mentor, review the progress, revisit, adjust. So in a simple form, MENTOR, M for mission, E for engagement, N for network, T for trust, O for opportunity, and R for review. That's a mentoring in a nutshell. I want all of you to take 2 action items back with you. First one, I would like all of you to build a network. And the second one is, I want all of you to seek a mentor in the area of improvement or growth that you're interested in. Here's one thing, if I can go back in time and tell my high schooler self when I was in high school like you, that in life or in work or in professional environment, merit, I gave you my resume at the beginning, my education, my grades, right? I was showing my merit. That merit, that education, those grades, those skills, it can only take you so far. Because sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know. And for that who part, you will need 2 things. You will need that network, and you will widen it, you will strengthen it, you will create goodwill and trust in that network, and when you need, you can look for a mentor, get guidance, customized coaching that you need for the next step in your life's journey. It's a beautiful life. It has its ups and downs and few challenging turns. So not always going to be rosy or awesome. But if you have network, and let that network, and if you have mentor, and learn to that mentoring, all of this gets easier, fun, and worthwhile through networking and mentoring. So I hope when you leave from here, you will make efforts in building that network, and getting help through mentoring. Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to do that, Mike. We got a bit of a record. Turn it up too. So we are going to start with, just like we did with Natasha, a little bit of Q&A.
Can you hear?
Okay, I turned it all the way up, so maybe we'll do it. Okay. So, if you guys have questions, again, you can still put your sticky notes on that wall right there on the little board and grab them to answer them. But if you guys want, I will run out, raise your hand, ask me questions, and we come over here to answer them. So, do we have any Q&A questions that you guys are wanting to ask? Okay. Oh, okay. There we go. Thank you.
So I actually have a question. I'm your keynote speaker today, and I worked with Shilpa for a long time. And I was very curious when you were talking about peer-to-peer mentoring, and it really got my wheels turning there about different folks. And I guess the question is, and this is what you were talking, so you and I work together, we're in different areas, you're on the business side, I'm in IT, different levels, but could I ask you to be my mentor because maybe there are some skill sets that I really, some qualities and attributes in you that I see that I'd like to grow in myself, even though I wouldn't say, it's not a senior-junior relationship.
My simplest answer is yes, and I'll support that with evidence. So my mentee who graduated and moved on to better prospects was Heather Cox. She used to be in the management team that reported to Humana CEO. And so this is somebody, so my mentee was a much senior, 4 or 5 levels senior to me. And so much that when I got entered in the system, HR system, they thought it was a mistake. I needed to be the mentee and she needed to be the mentor. And then she corrected to several leaders saying, this is the skill I need to learn from Shilpa, and this is the reason I want to be her mentee. And happy to say, it's been a couple of years, my mentee graduated, and we continue to be in that mentoring relationship. I spoke to my mentee just last month, so don't let the age, like I said, our ego is our biggest enemy. One of the things that I personally struggled with the peer mentoring was my coworker, or younger one, my classmate, who was better at music than I was, and I wanted to learn from her. She's my wife. Many times the peer-to-peer mentoring is not taken advantage of because we have this culture or the mindset that we are in some invisible competition with each other. We're not. Earth is such a big place, universe is such a big place, moon and other planets, and it's an abundance. There is so much for all of us. Only one of us doesn't have to be the smartest. Only one of us doesn't have to be the prettiest. Actually, if there are more than one smart people, and there are a lot of smart people, and then we have brighter ideas. Or if there's more than one pretty person, then it's a spectacular sight for the others to see. There's just so much. And so I had to overcome my own ego and the stories it was telling me, and then seek that mentoring with my peers. So my peer is very good at speaking up, and when my mentor had given all these speaking up opportunities for me, And I was speaking up for somebody is when peer-to-peer mentoring is far more powerful and far more rewarding. You will see outcome far sooner than somebody, a senior, trying to coach a junior on the same skills. So I take advantage, and thank you, yes, to that. I look forward to that.
Okay, so does anybody have any questions they want to ask? Okay. Then, once we finish these, we'll get to the discussion questions, and then I have.
So, what would be the best way to go about getting a mentor?
That is an awesome question. So the best way to get a mentor is first read over what is it that you need mentor for. Okay? Pick a subject that you want or skill that you want to learn. Anything. There you go. So whatever that skill is, look around you and see who is at a step above, or who do you aspire? Which person has it? If this person is directly reachable, and maybe I can have another session on courage. It's something I practice daily, and it doesn't come by easy. If this is someone you know and are comfortable with reaching out, choose their mode of communication. If they prefer you to be in person and talk to them in person, go do that. If they prefer you to send an email, go do that. If they prefer you to not call, don't send email, text me, go do that. And for the simplest ask, requesting help. I am seeking help in this area, and do you mind? I do another thing called negotiating. So you say the same things in such a way that the other person complies with you, and then you say, hey, do you mind, meeting for mentoring? And what you do in the first meeting, you basically scan it. You may thought this person was all that, but when you met, that person is not all that. And they go, scratch that, I don't want this. So rejecting a mentoring is also okay. So you do want, like I said, the three things you want is that you want them to care about you, you want them to have the knowledge about the skill you're seeking, and then you want them to be willing to give you their time. Sometimes, people say just going on mentoring, look good or not necessarily be it. That's the simplest way. And my other thing, I talked about the courageous, continuous courage. One of the biggest things that got between me and what I wanted was hesitant to ask for help. And the way I'm overcoming it is each day I gather more courage and I ask, what's the worst can happen? They're going to say no. Well, I don't have the mentor today anyway, right? So you're not losing anything. And with time, all of you are young, and life is ahead of you. And everybody gets their shares of no. And getting a no is okay. That's how you move on and you get to. Sometimes there might be an intermediate step. It may not be somebody you directly know, but somebody you know them. Then reaching out to that intermediary person and then telling them, hey, can you please? And that's how you would go about it.
Alright, so I'm going to say, just for time's sake, we can move on to our discussion questions up here. But real quick, we got some raffle winners. So Loretta H. Madeline A, and then Lily Piper. If you guys want to come up here, you guys have won the raffle. We got a couple different prizes selected. So, yeah, come on, come on. Alright, we need you guys to Alright, so first discussion question that I want you guys to talk about is with your table group is what is the difference between a mentor and a sponsor? So any of you guys that are sitting kind of solo, just kind of join a larger table group. You can move back to your seat if you want, but just to be able to discuss. And then again, if you guys have any more like Q&A questions, you can put them on the board. We'll do our best to get to them, but again, just for time's sake, we're going to start with our very first discussion question up there. Give you guys a couple minutes to talk, and then do answers.
So many years.
So, how are you guys doing? Thumbs up, good, we discussed it. Alright. You're still kind of quiet, don't look at each other. Real quick though, I just had a really good question. Lunch. So we're finishing up the session, and you guys can leave like 11:10. So if you are normally second lunch, keep going. If you are first lunch and you missed that to be here, then go to second lunch. Just try to keep on that schedule, and then if you are coming to our third session with Dr. Rose, that'll be starting, come in just right after, I would say second lunch, so 11:40, 11:45, and then that'll be kicking off about 11:45, 11:50. Question? Yeah, if you guys ever come back to the third one, you are welcome to leave yourself in here. I think it's only us that will be in here, so I promise you don't be safe, you'll be good until you leave yourself. Alright, so any questions about the lunch real quick? You guys good? Okay. So how about answers to the first question? What did you guys discuss? You got anyone? Alright. Come right over here. Yes.
So a mentor is more of like a guide, and they give more like advice when it comes to what to do. But
sponsor more kind of helps you build up more people that you know and how to get somewhere rather than like teaching you a specific skill or something. Alright, anybody else that wants to answer? Okay.
A mentor is someone that teaches something, and a sponsor is someone that helps keep them motivated and stay on track.
Alright, is there anybody else? Any other groups? Okay, well then, since you still have that one,
I was going to say, do you want the secret sauces, mentor and sponsor?
looks like we have the answer.
Okay, so the secret sauce between a mentor and a sponsor is, mentor is somebody that is going to guide you, coach you, lecture you like I'm doing right now. Or you till you're like, can't do it, handle it anymore. Sponsor is someone that is going to go to bat for you, that is going to go to war for you, that is going to make things happen that you wanted to, whatever the outcomes of your mentoring was. Sponsor is somebody that is going to literally sponsor that opportunity. And you may think this is a little bit early for let all of you know, but maybe my experience where I cannot go back in time and tell this to my high schooler self, but maybe those are all of you, to identify those mentors and invest in changing that mentoring to the next step into a sponsor for you. And I hope it could look someone like your mom. For me, that's the easiest sponsor. But dad said no, rush to mom. So for each of us, it'll be a different person, but try to get a sponsor in your academics, professional, and personal life. Ready?
We're sorry, we're about to do another raffle too. But so now let's get to the second question, and you guys well actually we'll discuss the second and the third. You guys can discuss kind of both of them at the same time. So second question, how does like an introvert go about getting a network? And then also third question is, can I have more than one mentor? So you guys can discuss for a second before we answer, or I mean, if you want to go ahead and answer, I'm going to answer the mic. No, okay.
This is for the third one. I do believe that we can have more than one mentor. That's totally fine. Because sometimes you can get different perspectives on other things, especially if you, I don't know, just, yeah, you just need different perspectives on different things sometimes, especially for literature.
So true. In one aspect of mentoring, one person may have specific skill, and I'll go back to math and marathon. So one mentor that is done with math cannot, may not necessarily be an expert in running a marathon. So yes, having more than one mentor. I know I have plenty, and I can't get enough.
No, okay, so, we got another, okay. But so you guys can also kind of discuss, and you guys already jumped that, so that's perfect.
This is for the second one, and there are many different ways that someone can reach out about mentoring, especially nowadays with email, texting, calling, Skyping, stuff like that. It doesn't necessarily have to be like in person.
Very, very well said.
This is for the third question, and I definitely feel like people can have more than one mentor because someone can have a mentor for just their personal life and their personal goals, and they can also have a mentor for math or English or just any academic goals that they may have, and any professional goals that
they can have different mentors for each of these things because not one person can be an expert in everything that one person can be.
Alright, do we have anybody else who wants to answer really any other questions up there? Alright, does anybody have any Q&A questions that we didn't get to that they thought of now that they want to ask real quick? We got a little bit of time. Alright, then I think we're good. So we did just do another raffle. So Ashley Davis, you want a t-shirt, and you want to come over and grab that. And then I will hand it over to Jasmine for the closing remarks.
All right, y'all, let's give Shilpa another round of applause, and thank you for being here today to talk about networking and mentoring. Shilpa is a very good friend of mine, and I think she forgot to brag about herself because the reason why we picked her is because she's the co-president of our network resource group for women at Humana. So she leads women in creating an equitable workplace, mentoring, she is an advocate for all of those types of things. So thank you, Shilpa, for sharing your knowledge with us today, for teaching these young women how important it is to have a village, I heard you say, to be happy and successful. I really love that she reminded us that everything is our competition. There's abundance out there, so we should really be lifting each other up, right? And I just love that she advocated for each of you to go out and search for a mentor. So if you don't feel comfortable doing it on your own on LinkedIn or Instagram, I know that Rise of Academics is here to help you guys find a mentor in the community or in your professional network that you're in. So make sure that you all do that today. And when we come back next year, I'd love to hear how your mentoring relationship has grown you in your either academics, professional, or personal career. All right, thank you all so much for session 2, and I think we're going to go to lunch now. We're going to break, and then you guys have second lunch at 11:10. Is that right? Okay, so you guys can hang out here for a few minutes. And